Since secrets were being shared on the beam of James, my secret is that when I was born, I asked God for a voice like his. And he shook his head and said, Rabbi Baruch Yehudah will share the Devar Torah, will give a drash this morning. It is an honor to have him with us and to share his sacred words with us.
Ki Shem Adonai Ekra Havu Gadol Eloheinu Adonai Sifatai Tiftach Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha. Because the name of the Lord I will call. Ascribe ye greatness unto our God. O Lord, open thou my lips, and my mouth shall declare thy praise. Giving all honor, glory, and respect to he who lives forever. Thanking him for allowing us the opportunity to be alive this day, to know that he is God. To be able to be in his presence and enjoy the celebration of his proclamation as king. I honor my chief rabbi today, even in the presence of Chief Rabbi Kepa Shmuel Funeh, to a man who I have come to appreciate his love of God and love of Torah, Rabbi Case. Honor today, sir. To my brothers, the Kohanim, Kohen Shemia, Kohen Azrael, the Misharet, to my family, to all of you, elders, members and friends, and to my uncle, Uncle Mike. That's it. That's Uncle Mike. Blessed be the name of the living God. I'm not going to hold you long. I just want to say a couple of words to you, and of course it's going to come from the Torah, because that's the thing that makes us smart. It starts off in the book of Exodus in the 30th chapter and 11th verse. And it reads on this wise, and Hashem spoke unto Moshe, saying, when thou takest the sum of the children of Yisrael according to their number, then thou shalt give each and every man a ransom for his soul unto the Eternal. When thou numberest them, that there be no plague among them, when thou numberest them. This day shall give every one that passes among them that are numbered half a shekel after the shekel of the sanctuary. The shekel is 20 gerahs, half a shekel for an offering to the Eternal. Everyone that passes among them that are numbered from 20 years old and upward shall give the offering of the Eternal. The rich shall not give more, the poor shall not give less than the half shekel when they give it for an offering unto the Eternal to make atonement for their souls. Thou shalt take the atonement money from the children of Yisrael, and thou shalt appoint it for the service of the tent of meeting, that it might be a memorial for the children of Yisrael before the Eternal to make atonement for them. I want to stop there and say, as we read this portion, we see that the Creator is calling for this offering, but there's a particular group of people that he's calling. He said those that are numbered 20 years old and upward. It didn't mean that the other people weren't important, but these people had a particular function in the nation. We'll see later. These were going to eventually be the soldiers of the living God. They were going to be the ones that were in the army. They were going to be the ones that were going to go forth and do things that you and I might cringe about. Right? War is not, war is war. But before they went to war, he said, bring this shekel as an atonement for you. Before you even do anything. Before you set your hand to do something. Know of a surety that you need to atone for that which you're going to do. And this is what I want to say to you. Recognize that the Creator of heaven and earth said, I got to make you atone, even though the lives that you will take are those that I have in my own self rejected their right to breathe my air. But they're still mine. It's still mine. got to make atonement for what you're going to do. See, the Creator's not in the bag that we are. He recognizes his whole creation and has a good mind for every living thing on the planet. That's why he gave the Torah. That's why we, the children of the earth that he gave the Torah to, were supposed to purvey it to every person on the planet. That they would be able to be blessed in the knowledge of who he is and all that he is, just like those of us who he chose to be the purveyors of the same. That was supposed to be the thing, They were supposed to be able to come to the border, all ready to fight and, wait, no fight. You can have everything we got. Bend the knee. That was supposed to be the end of the story. Bend the knee before he who is king. And he got blessing aplenty for everybody. So we go on. I'm just skipping around. Just skipping around a little bit. In the 31st chapter, it says, And the Eternal spoke unto Moshe, say, See, I have called by name Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur of the tribe of Yehudah. And I have filled him with the spirit of the eternal in wisdom and in understanding and in knowledge and in all manner of workmanship, to devise skillful works, to work in gold and in silver and in brass and in the cutting stones for setting and in the carving of wood, and to work in all manners of workmanship. And I, behold, have appointed with him a Holiab, the son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan. And in the hearts of all that are wise-hearted have I put wisdom, that they may make all that I have commanded thee, the tent of meeting, and the ark of the testimony, and the ark cover that is thereupon, and all the furniture of the tent, and the tables and its vessels, and the pure candlestick with all its vessels, and the altar of incense, and the altar of burnt offering with all its vessels, the laver and the base, and the plaited garments for the holy garments for Aharon the priest, and the garments for his sons to minister in the priest's office, and the anointing oil and the incense of sweet spices for the holy place, according to all that I have commanded thee shall they do. Well, I want to tell you that Aholiab, that Adon, Bezalel, and Adon or Aholiab, they didn't all of a sudden just wake up and become craftsmen. They were craftsmen. They worked at their skill. They were known for their skill. But then here came the other part, and I will put my wisdom in them. It is a thing when you are working toward a goal, or this is your personality, and then when God decides to use you, he perfects certain things in you for his own good. Today we're here. This portion, this section right here could be rightfully stated, and I called Mikael ben Levi. I called him. He didn't know what I had him to do. He didn't even know what the assignment was. He just thought he was coming down here to go to college. He had no idea what the assignment was. But he was preparing him, molding him, structuring his life, gave him teachers from his youth, that he might stand before us today, the man that we know today. Because when you're called by God to do something, see, let me just tell you this. You think he wants to do everything that he does? I mean, can we be honest, right? But there's something that happens. It's different. It's different. You may plan for something. You may study for something. God calls you to do something. He perfects it in such a way that you will be able to present for him. That you will be able to teach in his name to those that are too striving after him, striving after those lights and perfections that the priest had to carry. Why? Because he said, I'll make you all a nation of priests. I got an assignment for all of you. Sometimes we fight. We don't want it. Here's my advice to you. When God starts pushing you down a path, don't fight him. Don't fight him. You will lose. In case you didn't understand, you will lose. This is the master of all things. What he says is what he means. And listen, if you're so adamant about not having, he move you. You don't want to serve me? Good, move. Next. You don't think? Listen, I want to remind you of a story. When Moshe met the living God, he said he set a sight, the bush burned. Y'all know the story, the bush burned. He said, I got to turn aside to see the sight. The king and the master told him all these things I'm sending you. Moses, I don't want to go, but you got to go. Moses, I can't talk. Well, I got something for that too. I got everything set up. I'm telling you, stop playing with me, Moses. Get up and go. Right? There was that moment. But in all of that, when he went from the presence of God, all of a sudden, here came the angel of the living God that was going to slay him. Because he had not been in compliance with all that he had invested in him, knitting him together in his mother's womb, setting up him for one of the greatest jobs that will ever exist on this planet. You got to be in compliance. So this is what I'm telling you, when God starts pushing you down a trail, you better go willingly. That's what you've done. That's why we're here. Together as a family, standing up here on Shabbat to declare the name of the living God. Whereas people might have thought this will never happen, and how could this happen, and we don't understand. But never mind what you understand. God is moving the world. He's not asking anybody, can I move my planet? It's mine. Do it what I want. We are just players in the game, pieces on the board. I need for you to think about yourself. You know, it's great to have a lot of, what's that word? Come on, Doc, help me. Self-esteem. There, see, that's the doctor right there. Good to have self-esteem. Those of you who have been to the land of Yisrael over the cave of Machpelah where our father Yaakov lays, it says, Da, mi'ata lifnei omed. Know who it is before whom you stand. That's over a man's bones. What about the one who made him? You got to know who it is before whom you stand, and take your right place. Real humble in the Haftarah. The man read the Haftarah. He said, listen, you don't come to me with haughtiness. You better be ashamed of how you've been acting, because I've been blessing you every day and you haven't appreciated me. Because we think that we do it with our own hands. We think we do it with our own hands. I'd be remiss if I didn't say, in the middle of all this stuff about building the tabernacle, the Most High God said, remember the Shabbat day. Right in the middle of all of it. Like, build this, make that, do that, but remember the Shabbat. I don't care. Don't tell me about it's a holy thing and it's that. The Shabbat is what you have to stop on Shabbat. Even in the holy thing of making the tabernacle, you have to stop, because this is the sign between me and you. Don't ever forget it. Shabbat's not just a day for you to rest. A lot of people get that word wrong. Shabbat does not mean I am tired, I need to rest. That's not what it means. Shabbat is not, that's not what it means. This word lishbot, to cease. That's what it means, to cease. For those of you who are scientists, you know, in physics, they would say, and the ball is what? At rest. That means it's not moving, yes? This is not about sleep. This is about a cessation of the things that you do that have nothing to do with God. To focus on Him and Him alone. That's why Uncle Mike got up here and said, hey, it's nice you gave me this word. I love it, but this is God's day. and no one should forget it. I close, I want to read this section of the Seder. Moshe is, after that horrible scene that Moshe experienced, being up in the mountain with the living God, having to come down to the debauchery that he met. The rabbi told us about the golden calf we built that had to subsequently be destroyed. Now Moses is worried because God said, I ain't going with you. I can't. Y'all don't know me. You all think that I am altogether like you. Think about this. We think about God in a personage. We say things like, God would never do that. That can't be what God would want. I didn't really leave it up to your imagination as to how he thinks about things. When we diminish God in anthropomorphication, when we make God diminished by equating him with us, we miss the picture. Please listen to this. This is Moshe. I want to remind you who this man Moshe is. You remember there was a little story, his big brother and his even bigger sister? Priest Aharon and the prophetess Miriam. They had a little issue with who he married. They started, man, God only talked to him, and he talked to us too, and, all that. They had lots to say. The creator of heaven and earth said, come out here, you three. Then he made this statement. He said, if there's a prophet amongst you, I make myself known to him in visions, in dreams, and in the recesses of his mind. But not so with my servant Moses. For him do I speak with mouth to mouth, even manifestly, for he is trusted in all my house. Whatever that means. He is trusted in all my house. Then he asked the question, why weren't you afraid to speak against Moses, my servant? What'd that say? This is my little brother. This little brother, I took out and watched him on the water, made sure he ain't sinking, and carried him back and forth. I took care of him. I made sure, but God said, listen, he's transcended that place that you think about. He is now my servant, and you should have watched your mouth when you talked about something that belonged to me. Mine. May not like this word. I'm proud to be the property of the living God. Hear me? I don't feel diminished. Someone called me property. I'm the property of the King. This man Moses spoke to the Creator and said, listen, I need to know you. I need to know you. Because clearly we've been missing something. So I need to know who you are. So in the 33rd chapter, in the 12th verse, it says, and Moses said unto the Eternal, see that thou sayest unto me, bring up this people that thou hast not let me know whom thou wilt send with me. Yet thou hast said, I know thee by thy name, and thou hast also found grace in my sight. Now therefore I pray thee, if I have found grace in thy sight, show me now thy ways, that I may know thee, to the end that I might find grace in thy sight, and consider this nation as thy people. And he said, my presence shall go with thee, and I will give thee rest. And he said unto him, if thy presence go not up with me, carry us not up hence. For wherein now shall it be known that I have found grace in thy sight, I and thy people. This was our, oh my goodness, this man Moshe, he saved our lives more times than, okay. Is it not that thou goest with us, that we are distinguished, I and thy people, from all the people that are upon the face of the earth? And the Eternal said unto Moshe, I will do this thing also that thou hast spoken, for thou hast found grace in my sight, and I know thee by thy name. And he said, show me, I pray thee, thy glory. And he said, I will make all my goodness pass before thee, and I will proclaim the name of the Eternal before thee, and I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and I will show mercy on whom I will show mercy. And he said, thou canst not see my face, for man shall not see me and live. Now, think about that. With all of that great speech, all I know you by name, I know. But Moses, you can't really know me. I am too much. Hear me? Tilt. For those who used to play pinball, you remember the machine go tilt, tilt, tilt? Now the computer just blow up. No more memory, no more memory. Too much, too much, too much. God said, you can't know me, son. You're too much. I'm going to put you over here, and I'm going to let you see something. You can't know me like that. So my family, this is what I want to leave you with. None of us know God. We cannot. He's too much. But we know what he requires of us. Right? Do justly, love mercy. Walk humbly before me. The man Shalom said, the end